Hello and welcome to MorningFile. I'm your host, Emma McCarty, and today I'm speaking with Leo Johnson, the founder and executive director of Empowerment Squared, John Bulgar, international issues teacher at Hillfield Strathallan College, and Oyin Aderbigbe, a student and the president of the Black Student Association at Hillfield Strathallan College. And we're here to talk about the Ndaba Mandela Hillfield Empowerment Squared collaboration event. But first, I kind of wanted to just talk to you guys about Black History Month as a whole. Obviously, we're 3/4 of the way through February. So did you want to maybe kick it off with the importance of Black History Month, both personally as well as if you wanted to touch on the international aspect, John?
Yeah, absolutely. I think on a personal level, this month and this year has been very transformative for me. And I owe a lot of that to Oyin and young leaders like herself for inspiring me to, take notice about its lessons and issues that are very contemporary. And I really do hope that this finale to Black History Month will have a similar impact on viewers. And it will also celebrate Black excellence and a lot of personal heroes of mine. I think that if we think about our favorite athletes, actors, artists, global leaders, a lot of them are Black, and that's worth celebrating. And so I think that this is going to be a very positive experience for our school, but for our community on Friday.
I would just like to hop in there and say that Black History Month has been so important to me, especially during my time at high school. I know that I've gone through predominantly white schools for the majority of my life. And when I got to grade 10, me and a group of other Black students at the school decided that we did want to celebrate Black History Month. And it's just been a time where we've done a lot of work in the community. And I've seen a lot of changes happen in the community as a result of our Black History Months. And I think that there's been a lot of shifting attitudes around. So that's one of the reasons why it's so important to me. I also have to say, as the daughter of 2 Nigerian immigrants, there's just a lot that I've heard their experience has been affected by because of the color of their skin and because of the fact that they are from Africa. And I just think that Black History Month is so important and so necessary to be celebrated as a result.
Yeah, for me personally, I think I've tried to even move in a space where people start to acknowledge that Black history is not an event, right? It's a way of life. It's part of our life. It's part of our society. It's part of our everyday. What is the places we go, the food we eat, the technology we benefit from, the innovations that we all celebrate. It is our history. It's not Black people's history. It is the history of humanity in and of itself. So I look at it from a very specific standpoint that it's about recognition and justice for a group of people that our society has marginalized for so long and have led to all kinds of deficits within our community, that we need to do more to deal with those deficits. But in dealing with those deficits, it's almost like we have to use this opportunity to undo the narratives that have been created, that permeated our society for so long. Many of them were false. Many of them were discriminatory. Many of them were actually racist. So it has to be an intentional effort to say, we can't just say, oh, we were wrong the last time, so let's stop being wrong. We have to be intentional about saying, no, let's understand how we went wrong and let's make sure it's not a passive thing. It's a very active thing.
Yeah, for sure. And part of being active in the discussion is the event that you guys have coming up on Friday. Leo, if you could explain a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, from our standpoint, bringing Ndaba Mandela to Hamilton, we had to do it virtually, this COVID, so we couldn't physically bring him here. But that is special because for us, it's all part of our thought leadership strategy, where we've said it is important to focus on the work we do locally, but it's also important to bring in global leaders who can share with us their perspectives, their experiences, to help enrich the work that we do as well. But to also give us a different context sometimes that we take for granted, that we may not see just giving the realities of our own society. So bringing someone like Ndaba Mandela, who lived his entire life with Nelson Mandela and was groomed by his grandfather and is now himself on this journey of figuring out And, what do you do about this fight that his grandfather dedicated his entire life to, as we know? I think it's not just important from a engagement standpoint, but for a lot of young people, Black, white, whatever race they are, to start to see into the lens of global leaders and Ndaba Mandela himself and some of the inspiration they could get from there.
Yeah, so all three of you come from different experiences, different backgrounds. What does an event like this mean to you?
I'll jump in on that. As an educator, I'm really thrilled to revisit Nelson Mandela's story, especially from someone who lived so close to him and grew up with Nelson Mandela as a father-like figure as a young boy and teenager. It's also a really important year, I think, to hear about Madiba's life and legacy. And I really do wonder what he would say about, some of the headlines and the violence and protests that we continue to witness on the news. And I think that with Ndaba's help, especially speaking as an educator, I hope that, we do, make Black History Month and its lessons more of a lifestyle, sort of what Leo was just saying. Confronting these issues doesn't stop in February or when we finish a book or project in the classroom. It should become part of us every day at school and at home. And I do think, a lot of us need to refresh our worldview. And this will be a really great cultural exchange from someone, who will be joining us from Johannesburg in South Africa, to try and motivate that for our audience. So I'm very excited about that as a teacher.
I have to say, coming at it from a different perspective as a student, I'm just really excited to see how students will respond to the event and how they're going to take lessons learned from the event and lessons from his life and everything that he's gone through and apply it to their own lives. Like Mr. Bulger said, expanding the worldview of students, that's something that I am really committed to and I would really like to see as a result of this event. And that's something that's really meaningful to me, just in whatever I do. And I think that it's something I'd really like to emphasize with this event.
Mm-hmm. Going off of what you just said there, how has it been creating and working as with the Black Student Association at Hillfield Strathallan?
It's been quite the experience. It's been quite the journey. We were formed as a result of, like I said, in the past Black History Month celebrations, and then in spring, during the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement and all of the injustice happening around the world, we decided that we wanted to make it official. We wanted to make a Black Students Association. So it's been quite a journey. We've done things and activities such as hosting cultural event days like Dashiki Day, which is what we had in November. We've worked with the school to coordinate anti-racism and human rights training, as well as working to support curriculum adjustments. And it's definitely been a lot of work, but a lot of work that I'm grateful for, and I'm grateful that the school has been receptive to, and I'm grateful that the community as a whole has been extremely receptive to it. I'm also grateful for the team that I work with. They're just so supportive and so willing to work, and they're just amazing people. So all around, although it is a lot of work and there's a lot of effort put into everything we do, working with the team that I've been working with, it has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, so obviously you're now also partnering with Empowerment Squared to put on this event. How has that experience been for you so far? It's
been wonderful. I alluded to this a little bit earlier, but I'm really passionate about amplifying youth voices and getting youth engaged and involved. And it's so evident to me that Empowerment Squared is committed to this mission and realistically committed to this mission. Whenever we would have a concern or something that we wanted to bring up, we felt very comfortable sharing it with the people at Empowerment Squared, with the entire team. They were very receptive, and they sat down and spoke to us as if we were people. And a lot of times as teenagers, sometimes we get overlooked. And I haven't seen that at all in the entire time that we've been working with Empowerment Squared. So I'm extremely grateful for the fact that they're willing and ready to listen to us, and that they are willing to support us, and that they have supported us throughout the entire time.
I guess, Leo, obviously this event is pointing towards a bigger picture and a bigger goal, and Empowerment Squared has taken on a lot of these challenges. Why did you decide to create Empowerment Squared and take on all of these challenges?
I often say we forget how privileged and blessed we are living in Canada, and the things that we take for granted all the time, because, problems have a way of remaining at the center of your focus, that sometimes you don't even realize that, yes, you do have problems, but you also have accomplished a lot. Mm-hmm. And I've been concerned that young people in Canada particularly, I don't think we're given the opportunity to really appreciate what they have in comparison with other young people around the world. And sometimes when you talk about things internationally, people think it's all about, oh, do you have money or do you not have money to do stuff? And that's not what it's about. Sometimes it's about empowering young people to understand that, be grateful for the things you have. Treat it with the utmost importance. Take advantage of the opportunities available to you. Leverage it, because another young person is dying somewhere, literally, to get access to it. But beyond that, I came to this country as a refugee myself. And going through the experiences I went through, I just could not stomach the fact that young people were left to just be in the stereotype that they will go according to what the society has laid out for them. And it was stifling a lot of innovation, because you see a lot of young people with the ability to do all kinds of stuff, but they're told, you go to high school, you're done high school, you go to college or university, you pick something, you finish, you go to work, right? Not that that's a bad thing. That works for other people. But I kept asking people, who was giving young people the chance to leverage their innovation? Many workplaces, as a young person, when you get hired, you're worried about making mistakes. So you stick to what you're told, because if you make mistakes, you might lose your job. So Empowerment Square was really an opportunity to look at education from a different context, to help facilitate education for newcomer, refugee youth, marginalized youth, but beyond that, to also empower young professionals who are looking for opportunity to get into the professional workspace, to get the mentorship and support that they needed to figure out what all of that meant. And it's taking our work international now. In Liberia, everybody thought I was crazy when I said, let's build the first and only public library in Liberia at $2 million. People are like, you're crazy. Who's going to give you $2 million? Fast forward, we're talking about when the construction will be starting. Here's where we are. And doing more now, because more and more people are calling us and saying, how can we help? Whether morally, whether financially, whether through advice or volunteering. So for me, it's a special opportunity to be in a place where I can give back, because my life, when I was a young boy in the refugee camps, people who did not know me put themselves on the line for me to survive. And to be in a place where I can also find a way to support other young people is the greatest gift I could have ever asked for.
So John, what does it mean to you then as a teacher to have people like Leo and organizations that are focused on empowering youth?
Yeah, I'm very excited that HSC is partnering with an organization like Empowerment Squared. I feel that, like, in the classroom, we talk a lot about these big problems and potential solutions to them. And we often try and associate those concerns and those issues elsewhere, somewhere else other than Canada, somewhere else other than Hamilton. But I think that there's a lot that can be done closer to home to create opportunities for young leaders in our city to really kind of become their own entrepreneurs and their own leaders. And so Empowerment Squared is a really exciting way to do that. And so I do see this as a great opportunity to take action on some of these issues in our city for students that are at HSC. And I just like to allude to to Oyin as well. I'm really proud of Oyin. She is living proof of how young people are sending the world down a better path. There are a lot of Oyins at HSC and in our city. However, some of them might not have the same opportunities. And so an organization like Empowerment Squared provides that in more ways than one. And so I'm just absolutely delighted that we're building this partnership, within our city.
Yeah, it's amazing what all three of you are doing, both internationally and within the community. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and have a great rest of your day. Make sure to check out Empowerment Squared and their collaboration with Hillfield Strathallan College as they host a virtual presentation by Ndaba Mandela on February 26th, this Friday at 10 a.m. Click the link below for more information about the event. And as always, for more MorningFile content, you can visit cfmu.ca/videos.